More so like, oh, young man, so much braver than I was at his age. Okay, Nathan, there you go.
I got you tonight? Yeah, they won't hear me. Hello everyone, can you hear me? Yeah. Anyone can hear me? Yeah. Okay. Hi, my name is Nathan Vass. You might know me as the bus driver who drives the bus, who writes the blog about stuff that happens on the bus. Tonight I'm going to tell you a story that is not on the blog. So, I'm driving the number 7 from Rainier Beach back to downtown, in the middle of the night. It's my last trip coming into town. Strange and mysterious things always happen on your last trip. It's just how these things happen. You hear all these horror stories. It was my last trip into town. I don't know why it happens. Anyways, we're stopping underneath the freeway, I-90 and Rainier Avenue northbound. Maybe 11:50 at night, and this young boy gets on, maybe 18 or 19, dressed in a nondescript gray sweatpants, very ordinary generic blue sweatshirt, and I say hi, because I say hi to every single person who gets on the bus, and he says, hey, and I'm mildly pleasantly surprised, because young people don't always say hi, and he says hi, and he goes and sits in the back, and we continue on our way. And we're going through downtown, almost done with the route, and I get a call from the coordinator on the radio, and the guy on the radio says, we noticed that you're almost done with your shift. Is your bus working? Can we swap it out for some other bus driver whose bus is broken? And it's called a coach change. And I say, yes, I would love to do a coach change. This involves driving the bus a slightly different path. I explain this to my customers on the microphone. They're confused. They don't know what's going on. Most of them leave the bus. We start going a slightly different path, and there's this really thug-tastic, gangster-looking guy who's very gruff, and he comes up to the front, and he says, I want to go home, because he doesn't know where we are. And I help him, I direct him back to go home, and now there's nobody left on the bus except for that kid in the back. And I open both doors, northbound First and Yesler. I'm expecting him to get off through the back doors and leave, because that's what kids do nowadays, but no, he walks up to the front, and he says, excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you. I hate to be in an imposition. I don't want to be an inconvenience. He says 5 different versions of that. And then he says, I'm really looking for a place to sleep. I need a place where I can lie down. And I can tell by the tone of voice in this young man, in this boy, that he's never been in a position where he's needed to ask someone that before. You have to be in a certain mental space of vulnerability before you can be in a position where you have to beg. And that's the headspace that this young boy is in. And he starts telling me a little bit more about his situation. He just got here from Philadelphia tonight. He just got off a train, escaping a terrible family situation. His dream has been to break away from that negativity and start over in Seattle. Right now, he just wants to find a place to sleep and a job. I start telling him all about the various shelters and youth care facilities and food dispensary locations. All this information is useless because it's 12:21 a.m. All that stuff is closed. The mission is done, the men's shelter is done, night watch is done, it's the middle of the night, and I tell them about the all-night buses that you can ride around in circles. It's sort of a last resort while you wait for the day labor stuff and all that other things to open in the morning. Now, I don't usually carry money when I'm driving the bus, especially the number 7, not a great idea, but I have $20, and his name is Leroy, and I say, Leroy, you should have these $20. And he's like, no, I can't accept that, I can't accept that. And I say, you got to, this is your situation. Who knows, perhaps I might have to ask you for help one day. And we shook hands, and he walked off, and I wondered what was going to become of this person if I would ever see him again, because you wonder about these faces that you see in the nighttime. Now, 4 days later, I go to the Real Change annual breakfast at the convention center. It's a fundraiser for the street newspaper Real Change. You may have heard of it. And after the event is over, I'm leaving the exhibition hall. I'm walking down some of the exit hallways, and I see this, it's like a mirage. It's a vision. Nondescript gray sweatpants, generic long sleeve blue sweatshirt. And he's walking away from me, so I can't see me. And I say, Leroy. And he turns, that's his name, he turns around and he says, Nathan. And he runs over and gives me this gigantic bear hug and squeezes me so tight like I've never been hugged before. And he says, Nathan, you saved my life. And I ask what happened for the rest of the evening, and he explains he wandered around aimlessly searching for help. Eventually this police officer, this nice, actually, Seattle police officer, this friendly white police officer was kind enough to direct this young black boy to a youth care facility that opened earlier than the other ones. Now, this was only 4 days later. Leroy had not even found a change of clothes. He already had 4 interviews lined up, 3 of which he was able to make it to, 2 of which hired him, 1 of which has turned into a full-time job. This was in October. His goal was to have an apartment by Thanksgiving. He has an apartment now. What doesn't kill you? Thank you.